Welcome to level 2 of the Level Up with CMJ system. This level is geared for a bankroll of $660 up to $1,320. If this is your level of play at the craps table, then this video is for you. If you have a smaller bankroll, click on the link below this video in the description to a different video that will be better for you. Either way, please watch this video to the end to learn how the strategy plays out, to find out its strengths and its weaknesses. Also, at the end of the video, I will have 6 basic rules that you should follow when following the CMJ system. Hey, my name is Joe and this is my Craps Master journey. Let's make it yours too. Okay, let's start off with the cold table strategy, or our walk-up strategy. Again, this strategy is based off the Horseman, made popular by John over at Pro Craps, but it has a CMJ twist. First thing we're going to do is there's not going to be any line bets, so we're not going to do any don't pass or no pass line bet, and we're going to wait till a point is established. So let's say the 10 is the point. Doesn't matter really what it is, but what we're going to do is we're going to place a don't come bet for $15. And we're going to wait till that point is established. So let's just roll the dice really quick here. And let's say we have the 314 as our point. I'm sorry, as the DC bet. So this is going to travel over to the DC. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make 3 $15 come bets. So we're going to go one bet here, and we're also going to pick up the 5 and 9 for $15 each. So we'll put $15 on the 5, $15 on that 9. So when we roll the dice now, what we're looking for is to hit a 5 or 9. But remember that this come bet loses on a 2, 3, or 12, but it also pays out on a 7 or 11. If the 7 rolls, we're going to be covered because we got $15 here, $15 here. We will lose these two, and that'll be a complete wash. But like I said, our hopes is to hit it a 5 or 9 to get a couple extra dollars brought back to the rack. So let's just roll the dice here quick again, and we got an 8. Again, if the 5 or 9 would have rolled, that would have been a $20 or $21 increase. But we have an 8, so the comeback's going to move to the 8. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the 5 and 9 down and put that back into our rack. And we're going to follow that up again with another $15 comeback. Now what happens is if the 7 rolls, we're covered with the 4 up here as well as with the comeback, but we'll lose this comeback bet right here. So that's be a profit of $15. So let's roll the dice again. And we got a 4, 1, 5, which would have been nice if we got that the last time. So that comeback's going to move up to the 5. And then we'll go up with a third and final comeback here for $15. So roll this one out again. And we got a 6, 3, 9. So that comeback will move up to that 9 there. Now we are completely done until these 4 bets resolve themselves. So let's just do a quick roll out here and see how it goes. We got a 4, 1, 5. So that's going to pay out that 5 right there. We'd put that into our rack. And we have a 6, 3, 9, which that one will pay out. And this is the first time I shot this, so this is not a re-roll of the video. And we got a 6, 1, 7. So what we're going to do is that puck's going to turn off. We're going to lose this comeback. That would come back to the rack, but we're going to get paid out on the DC. So if you look at what happened here was we started with that right there, which is $60, and we made an extra $30 brought back to the rack. So we actually made $30 off of that. And remember, this is the cold table or the walk-up strategy. We're going to use that cold table or walk-up strategy when we're first walking up to the table to figure out how the table is rolling and to figure out what type of shooter that is shooting the dice. We're also going to use it if the table is full of short rolls. So note, you can also use the strategy to work into your base strategy or our light-sided strategy. Once all 4 bets have been resolved, and if you're in profit, use that profit to start working and spread across the numbers. This is how you play your light-sided or your regular strategy. Remember to watch the video all the way to the end though for 6 basic rules that you should follow when following the CMJ program here. But what we're going to do is we're going to start off with 66 on the inside. So that's going to be $15 on the 5 and 9. That's going to be $18 on the 6 and 8. Our goal now is to get a number pressed up. So let's say that 5 hits. If the 5 hits or rolls, that's going to pay out $21. And we're going to press up the number that's hit. So that 5 is going to get pressed up to a quarter. We're also going to press up the sister number, which will be the 9. This $1 here is going to come back to our rack and be a profit on that side of things. So we'll make that look like 25. And again, like I said, our goal is to get a pressed up number to hit a second time. So let's say that 5 hits again, that's going to pay out $35. And what's going to happen is from here, we'll go to the next level of the program, which I will cover in a little bit. But let's go back to that beginning level, which is that 66 on the inside. So that's going to be $15 again on that 5 and 9. And that's going to be $18 on that 6 and 8. Let's say this time the 6 hits. Again, that's going to pay out $21. And what we're going to do is we're going to take $3 from our rack. We're going to drop it in. We're going to say, dealer, make my 6 and my 8 look like $30 each. So what they're going to do is they're going to stack this all up here. And they will hand it off to the box person while they set your bets up to make them look like $30 each. And the box person's going to count it out. And let's count this out really quick here just to show you guys and gals that this is $30. So there's 15, we got 30, we got 45, 50, and then here's 10 for $60. Okay, remember, like I said, our goal is to get it to the second hit hitting, or that pressed up level hitting a second time. Your third option here is let's say that 6 or 8 hits, we pressed it up to $30 each. Let's say now that 5 hits. If that 5 hits again, we're going to get paid out $21 because that was $15 on there. We're going to take that $10 there, $10 there. We'll put them on the 5 and 9, make them both look like a quarter. Bring that dollar back to the rack. So now we're actually at 110 inside. These are all pressed up numbers already. And our goal is to get a pressed up number to hit a second time. And let's say any of these numbers hit now, it's going to pay out $35. And that'll be that second time that we're looking for this bet to hit. This is actually, I don't want to say perfect situation or not, but this situation here, you're actually be coming out at over break even on the shooter, but you'll also be pulling some money, some extra profit back to the rack, which we'll talk about in a little bit how to do that. But let's go back to our beginning here. And I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but let's go back to our 66 on the inside. This will be 3, 3, 3. And we'll cap off that 6 and 8. 5 hits, we get paid out 21. We're going to make them look like 25 each. Pull the dollar back to the rack. Okay, let's say the 5 hits again, we'll pay paid out 35. Here, what we're going to do now is if we only have one number that's pressed up, and that one of those two numbers hit again, it gets paid that 35, we're going to go right away to step number 3 of this level. And what that's going to be is we're going to say, hey, dealer, bring down my 5 and 9. So we're going to give you that profit, $35 profit, plus they're going to pull the 5 and 9 down. And you're going to leave your 6 and 8 looking like 18 each. From here now, what we're going to do is we're going to ask them to color up one of these here. So we got 5 chips. And we're going to take one of these, make it look like 5 singles. Okay. And what we're going to do now is if only one of the numbers is pressed up and hits the second time, we're going to pull down, make the 6 and 8 look like 18 each. We'll take $15, we'll put that on the field bet, and we're going to take $2, we're going to hop the 5s for $1 a piece. So we have the 4-1 or 1-4 for $1, and we have the 2-3 or 3-2 for the second dollar. And I don't have any hop bets on my table, so that's where I put those hop bets is down in that square. And the rest of this we're going to bring back to the rack as profit. So we have got $50, $65, $68 brought back to the rack in profit. Okay. And from here, we're all set up now to start working on step number 4 of this level. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Let's go back to our 66 inside. And again, like I said, please follow with me. I know I'm jumping around a little bit here, but it will work out here. So we're at $18 on a 6 and 8. Let's go with $15 on that 5 and 9. Let's say the 5 and 9 hits again, get paid out 21. We're going to go to 25. Make them look like 25 each, dealer. Dollar comes back. Now let's say that 6 or 8 hits. That also pays out 21. We're going to drop in 3 from our rack and make them look like 30 each. So you guys remember where we're at with that now, right? So we're going to make them look like $30 each. The rest of that money would be given to the dealer there, okay? Now, we're at that 110 inside, and we were at this point earlier in the video. Let's say we get a second hit. Any of these here are going to pay out $35. The reason I'm showing you this way is now we're going to have enough money to go to the 5, 6, and 8 for our bet. So we're going to say dealer, pull down our 9. And here's our $35 profit from that last shooter. And we're going to say dealer, make the 5, 6, and 8 look like 3 units each. So that's going to be $15 on that 5. Okay, and then they're going to need another $36 here. So let's pull out $36 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll pull these back. Okay, we'll make one of these look like 5 singles. Okay, so they're going to pull out $36 from your rack. And then the rest of this is going to be all given back to you to come back to the rack. So we'll make that 6 and 8 look like 36 right away so we know where we're at. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take $15 and we're going to put that on that field bet. So what we're doing is we're bringing an extra $79 back to our rack, which more than covers the amount of money that we have on a table here. So what we're going to do is now we're going to start from here. So remember, there's 2 different levels we can start with. We can either start from the iron cross here, $15, $18, $18, and a $15 bet. Or what I showed you before was $15 on that field, 18, 18, and we hop the 5s for $1 piece. So either way, this is where we're going to start the strategy off. So let's start off with this way right here, which is going to be $15 on the field bet, 18 on the 6 and 8, and hop into 5s for $1 a piece. So again, what happens is if the 6 or 8 is rolled, that pays out $21. Okay, and if the 6 or 8 would hit, we're going to lose that field. So we would take 15 of this, go back up on the field. We would take $6 and bring it back to the rack. We would also lose those hop bets on that if the 6 or 8 hits. So we would actually have to drop them. I'm not going to say, hey, hop those 5s for $1 a piece again. So they would take that 5, they would give us $3 back to the rack again. Okay, so that's again if the 5 or if the 6 or 8 hits. If the 5 hits, what we're going to do is we're going to lose this field bet, but we're going to get paid, and we're going to lose one of these hop bets, but we're going to get paid out $15 for the remaining hop bets. So that pays out $15. So let's say that 4-1 hits. So we're going to take that $15, we're going to put it back up on the field. We'll have to drop in an extra $1, so it's a loss of $1. But that's going to cover the majority of our bets up there. And that's if that 5, the hop 5 would hit. Now, if the field would hit, so the field's going to be the 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, or 12. Remember that 2 and 12 pays out double on my table and most tables in most casinos. Some casinos will pay out triple on that 12. But if any one of those numbers hits, that's going to pay out $15. And then we will lose this 5 here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that $15 profit, we're going to put it right up in the 5 so we don't have to hop it anymore. And we'll play on from there. So keep in mind that now the 5, 6, and 8 will pay out $21. And if either one of these hits, we'll lose this get paid out 21, so we'll have to go back up on that, and we'll take that $6, bring it back to our rack. The whole goal here now is to use that field to start spreading across. Perfect situations to having a 2 or a 12 hit, and then we can cover up 2 numbers. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get those inside numbers covered and then start spreading outwards. So let's say the 3 hits again, and let's get paid out another $15. So we're gonna take that 15, put it on the 9. Now what would happen is, again, if that 5, 6, or 8 hits, that pays out $21, we would lose the field, so we would put 15 back up, bring 6 back to the rack. In the beginning, I'll talk about this in one of the rules later, but remember, 3 hits at the 5, 6, or 8 is the same as getting 1 field win. And I'll explain it to you a little bit in some of your basic rules at the end of the video here. But what happens is now, the perfect situation here would be either rolling a 2 or 12 because that pays out double, or hitting a 9. So let's say that 9 hits. We're going to get paid out $15 there, and we're also going to get paid out $21 up here. That would be a perfect situation because that would be enough to take 15, go up on that 4 and a 10, and we would pull all this back to the rack, which is a profit of $21. Okay? But let's say a different number other than that 9 hit. Let's say that the 3 hit again. That 3 is going to hit and pay $15 on that field bet. What we're going to do is we're going to take that 15, we'll go up on the 4, we'll make that a place bet, not a buy bet, because it buys at 20. Make it a place bet, and we'll take that field off and go to 10. So now we're all the way across at 96 across, and that is our goal to get to the next level. And at this next level now, we're going to start trend betting only the number that's hit. And to learn how to trend bet, go back to video number 1, and I'll show you the progressions there. And I also have a video on trend betting, which I will put in the description below this video so you can learn how to trend bet up here. So for example, trend betting, if that 9 hits, that pays out $21. We're going to make it look like 25. We'll bring $11 back to the rack. If that 25 hits, it pays out 35. We'll bring 25 back to rack, make it look like 35. If that 35 hits, etc., etc., etc. And that's where the videos, the prior video and the trend betting video that I'll put into the description at the bottom of the video will tell you how to do that. There are some basic rules to follow or to put into play when you're following the level 2 part of the Craps Master Journey Level Up program. Number 1, if you have 3 consecutive losses in a quick succession, make sure that you take a break or consider ending the session for the day. Remember to practice your stop loss limits that I added to the CMJ Level Up Google Sheets. That's linked in the description below this video. And that's an addition that I put in after I originally made that introduction video. So make sure you check that out. That is an update to the program. Number 2, if you don't get the required number of inside hits by the time you get, say, 5 or 6 rolls into the shooter, consider taking your bets down and only playing with whatever you made in profit for that shooter. Number 3, once you get to step 3 in this level, remember that 3 hits of this 5, 6, or 8 is the same as taking 1 field hit. So that way, if you get 3 hits of the 5, 6, or 8, then you can actually use that as profit to go up and spread across onto the other box numbers. Number 4, now this is not required, but it might be a soft suggestion. But if you're watching a person shoot the dice and they appear to be a controlled shooter or a dice influencer, if you will, and they're rolling box numbers and all of a sudden they roll, say, 2 craps numbers, consider turning your bets off for maybe 1 or 2 rolls until they get back into sync with things. Because a lot of times what happens is if they're getting out of sync, that 7 is not too far behind. Number 5. If you take a hit or 2 and your bankroll level that you actually have on the table falls down into the level 1 category, consider dropping down and playing the level 1 strategy. What happens is if your bankroll is not large enough, remember, it's not going to take that many shooters in order to completely eliminate it. So if you can adjust your levels of bankroll back and forth into the appropriate level, then hopefully you'll be able to have enough money for, say, 10 to 20 shooters and be able to help carry you through some of those small low points, and hopefully get you to a high point where you can make the profit and get off the table for the day. And number 6, and this is probably the most important rule: practice, practice, practice. Make sure that you practice this strategy at home, either on a craps table that you have, or a throwing station, or even on electronic versions such as like Crapsy. So that way you know what the ins and the outs of the strategy are. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? And you know how to adjust at the table real time to make smart choices. And again, like I say, practice ahead of time so those smart choices can be made without even thinking at the table. Remember, I make no promises that level 2 will be successful for you at the real casino. All I can do is I can tell you what I use and what is successful for me. Also keep an eye open for my Level Up Lives, where I actually teach you how to play with a bigger bankroll, something that we've built up to over a period of time. And if you find value in this video or anything that I'm going through, make sure you give me that thumbs up if you enjoy this content. Also consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. It costs you nothing to do those 2 simple things for me, and it helps me out tremendously because it helps get the video out to more and a wider spread of people. Hey, my name is Joe, and this is my CMJ Level Up Craps plan. Let's make it yours too. Everybody have a great day. Be safe and be prosperous.